Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mansoor Arora from Lepton Software, and we welcome you all for today's webinar on planning and expansion for future using smart data. We hope that everyone is safe and healthy, and I would like to thank all of you for joining us for this session. This session will be for 30 minutes, and we will have a Q&A session after the presentation, at the end of the presentation. So I would request you all to kindly type your questions and queries in the Q&A window, and we will take them after the presentation is finished. Our speaker for the day is Ms. Sita Gurum. She is the product manager of RF Map and Map Info at Lepton Software, and she has been associated with Lepton for a long period of time. And she's an expert in helping telecoms and OEMs with help of geodata for network planning, design, and optimization. Now I would request Ms. Sita to take the session forward with her presentation on the topic of the day. Sita ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Yeah. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us today in this webinar. So I have organized today's presentation as smart data topic for today's session, and we will see what all data packages are available in this category of digital maps. Then second, Lepton overview, and finally, at the end of the session, we will take all your queries and we will try to answer them immediately. So if you have attended our previous sessions, we have been discussing about the various digital maps that we offer to our telecom industry, to our telecom clients for their wireless planning and optimization activities, which is actually from highly accurate 3D maps to cost-effective 2.5D maps, and as usual, the traditional 2D maps. However, today we are actually going to talk about the data set, which is meant for non-telco industry, I would say. There might be possibility that a few of the data layers are overlapping in between the telecom industry and non-telecom industry. So let's start with smart data. Smart data is the group of various digital map or data sets which will act as an aid if you are interested to understand the demographic breakup and want to target the respective audience. Let's say you want to target audience by their age group or by their let's say gender, okay, or maybe if they are working or retired. So likewise, you can actually understand the breakup of those demographic patterns. It will also act as an aid if you are a SI for smart city projects. So for smart city projects, map dataset actually act as a foundation for these kind of projects. So all your urban planner will actually, be relying on map datasets to make their infrastructure decisions. And other use cases, let's say if you want to analyze the profile and affluence level of an area, let's say if you want to figure out the maybe the income patterns of that particular area. And one more use case that I can think of right now, let's say if you are willing to identify potential locations for your business expansion, at that time also smart data will be helpful for you. So we will be covering up all these data sets within this smart data category. These are the various categories of digital maps that we are offering right now. We will be get into the details of each and every circles that I am actually showing you here. So let's start with a landmark and POI dataset. So landmarks and POI. Landmark and PO dataset is actually collection of various datasets that we have collected through field survey. You will get the information or attributes about the landmark like name of that particular building or POI or landmark, whatever category that you want to give to that particular feature. You will get the address information, you will get the category information, you will get the pin code information. So all those sort of attributes will be available as a point object. So the landmark and POI dataset will be represented as a point object in GIS terms, vector format, point vector format. The availability of this particular data set for Indian region is actually somewhere around 7 million. So we have 7 million landmark and POI data set available for Indian territory. In terms of categorization, you will get major 15 to 16 categories, which has actually been divided into various 180 plus subcategory. So you will get all the landmark and POI that are falling in banking services. We have categories like financial services or banking services. We have categories like emergency services and so on. So we have a huge list of those categories in our landmark and POI dataset. We can definitely share those list of categories separately. So if anyone is interested to have these list of categories and subcategories of landmark and POI data, probably we will discuss with them separately. Populous Plus. Next layer is Populous Plus. As the name suggests, Populous Plus is the data set which will tell you about the population data or demographic data. So we have various administrative boundaries available for India, starting from international boundary to the lowest level, which is actually for urban area, it will be ward boundaries, and for rural area, it will be village boundaries. So population data is available up to the most granular level of India. We will source this data set from the local census agency. I actually want to highlight here, the population data set is not only, we are not offering the population data for India only. It is actually available for any part of the world. So we will source the local census agency. We will get the population data from them. So the data format generally comes in a raw format, which means the data set, the population data that we get from a government agency will be available in Excel or CSV format. We Lepton, what our team is doing here, we are actually converting those raw data set into a GIS format. So we will be creating boundaries and we will be integrating those population data set from Excel sheets. Since the time period to publish and to collect the population data is actually very lengthy, I would say it's very lengthy process, and it generally takes 5 to 10 years to collect and publish these kind of data set by the respective government agency. So what we are doing, we further can project the population data for the current vintage. So we basically use industry standard formulas to project these data. Apart from that, we will also refer the settlement expansion pattern that are happening right now. So we will refer n number of factors to project the population data to current vintage. So yeah, for India, it is available at the lowest level, which is ward and village. You can get various attributes of population like male population, female population, household count, population below 6 years, literate population, working population. So you will actually get somewhere around 80 plus attributes with this particular data set. Next data layer is Infra now. Infra now is the data for ongoing infrastructure related projects in India. So whatever infrastructure or infra related projects are happening here around us in India, we will actually capture those information and will convert it into a GIS format. So for example, let's say if we have some highway construction is going on, or flyover construction is going on, or let's say some hospital building is, hospital building construction is going on. So we will capture all those information and will convert it into the GIS format. The various industries or the categories that we cover in this particular data set are actually, in fact, we have a huge list. Few of them are the manufacturing units, mining, electricity and non-conventional energy, services and utilities, as well as the irrigation industry. Now, what all attributes or information are available in this particular data set? So it will give you the information about the promoter. When I say promoter, name of the promoter, or maybe the turnover of the promoter. The project details, when I say project details, it will have the information like the start date, end date, duration of the project, stages, what is the current. So we are not only capturing it one time, we actually monitor the progress of that particular project. So which means we are actually going to give you the stages of the particular project. Cost, what is the total cost that has been assigned to complete that particular project. Contractor, and I mean there are somewhere around 30 plus attributes that are available in Infra now dataset. Telecom data. We are also calling it as behavioral and economic data. For India, it is actually very tough to get direct income related data of any person. Right now, it is actually impossible to get these kind of information from any source. So what we did here, we actually have collaborated with one of the operator. In fact, we actually have done this collaboration with Vodafone Idea Limited, and we are using their telecom data set to offer this particular package, which will tell you about the kind of mobile handsets they are using. I mean, whether they are the Android user, whether they are even within Android, if they are Samsung user, if they are, I don't know, maybe MI user, or if they are, iPhone user. What are they international roamers? How much mobile data are they consuming? So what is the, upload GB? What is the rate of upload GB, download GB? What is the footfall in a place on a given time? So all the mobile user who are actually roaming from one place to another place, we can actually capture the footprints of those users. So these are the information that are available in this particular package. This particular data set will help you to get an idea about the affluencity of a particular area, though we are not getting the direct income level information. However, you can get an idea getting the information maybe from the number of iPhone user, or the ARPU that subscriber is giving, or maybe the roaming patterns. Let's say if they are international roamer, so probably that particular locality will have the high income crowd. Likewise, town and village amenity data. So amenity information for all the towns and all the villages of India. Source for this particular data set is again Census of India. We are sourcing it from them. The availability is pan India, which is you will get this information for all 8,000 plus towns as well as 6 lakh villages. We have a huge list of attribute information available in this particular data set. However, I actually try to capture the important attributes. So let's say if you want to get an idea about the medical facilities available for a town or for a village, when I say medical facilities, we have further categorization, the number of allopathic clinics, or number of homeopathic clinics, or maybe hospital specific for, I don't know, maybe TB. All these information will be available. Educational facilities, number of schools available in this particular town or village, number of colleges, number of training institutes. Banking facilities, what kind of banks or what category of banks are available in those towns or village. Be it, you, let's say, categories like government banks, or maybe private banks, or maybe banks who are exclusive for agricultural budgets. Post and telegraph and telephone facilities, so if those towns are having these facilities. And finally, income and expenditure of that particular village, so the budget or the donation that they have received from government. So you will get all these kind of amenity information for town and village. The next, pin code boundary, India pin. And I can tell you that every retail, banking, FMs, I mean FM companies from FMCG or courier companies are actually relying on India pin or pin code boundary data set. So they actually need to map their territories, and at that time the base for territory mapping is actually India boundary, sorry, pin code boundary. We have captured and created pin code boundary for pan India. The source of this particular data set is India Post. India Post is also only providing the raw information in CSV files. We actually source those raw data set, and simultaneously we conduct field survey. We use our own data set that we have created in these many years, and the output of all those combination of the data set is pin code boundary. So the pin code boundary is available in boundary format as well as point format. You will have the pin code number information. You will have city, tehsil, district and state name available with these boundaries and points. Locality plus. Locality plus is the data set which will give you the information about the locality boundaries. In fact, locality is a term that we have actually decided for Indian territory. When I say we, Indian crowd. Otherwise, we can also call it as neighborhood boundaries. So we actually have captured the lowest level locality information and have created those information as map or polygon. So we have 3 level of hierarchies available across all the cities. And furthermore, for example, let's say for metro cities or metro towns, you will have further hierarchy or categorization of the locality boundary. So for example, the first level of hierarchy will be locality, then sublocality, sub-sublocality, block, which can further be divided into maybe pockets. So the question comes here is actually for any data set or any digital map product is, first, what is the accuracy, what is the source, right? I'm sure you are actually getting an idea that we are sourcing most of our data set from government body. We have MOD, Ministry of Defense approval for all our map data sets. When I say all the data layers that we are offering in SmartData. We have Survey of India, SOI approval for our boundaries. So we have those, authorization from the government agency who are actually responsible to publish and approve these data set, these digital maps. So yeah, locality plus. So locality plus or locality boundary will be created and updated through field survey only. That's the only source that we can validate and create these boundary data sets. LULC or land use land cover map. If we have a telecom audience here today, they actually can get an idea about this particular layer. So this data set will tell you about the settlement patterns of the earth surface. So different color represent different settlement patterns. So the categories or classes of the those land usage and land coverage categories are settlement or habitation, water bodies, green areas, agricultural land, or open area. Household profile. Household. So household profile is actually will give you the information about the type of houses. When I say type of houses, whether it's a residential house, whether it's a vacant house, whether it has been opted as renting option, or it's been owned by someone. The usages of house will also be available, like if the building or that particular house is being used as shop, school, hospital, workshop, hotel, and so on. So you will have those categorization for the usages of the house. You will also have the asset information of that particular house or household. Do you have mobile available with a house? Do you have internet connection? Do you have landline connection? Do you have assets like computer or laptop? So all these asset information will also be available in this particular data set. And yes, also the vehicle ownership data set will also be part of this layer. When I say vehicle ownership, whether a particular house is owning a four-wheeler, a car, or a two-wheeler, or a cycle. Yeah, so these data set will be sourced from Census of India. So household profile is again being sourced by Census of India. The coverage is pan India. This data set is available for at pan India level. The lowest granularity is actually district and major towns, and not in fact major town, all towns. So that's the best granularity which is available from Census of India, from the agency. Now 1K map or house level land based map. So if we have audience here who are actually into smart city project, this is the answer for your question about the digital map. If you are looking for a map data set for smart city planning, land based or 1K map is the answer. This is the, I would say, best data which is available in entire package, which will have a very detailed information. You will actually get a real scenario data available in this particular layer. So you will have the building information. When I say building information, you will also have building name, building number, the address of building. You will also have the parcel maps available. You will also have the road network information. When I say road, it will go from road width to footpath information. You will get the utility information. When I say utility, it can be electricity pole, it can be electricity line. You will have the all the park information, or maybe the public transport information. So whatever data that you can see around yourself is actually available in this particular package. This data is, however, available only for top 66 cities. We have created this data set so far for these many cities only, since it's a very detailed map. We are still in progress to updating these maps and creating this level of capturing this level of detailed information in our maps. So yeah, it's work in progress. Landmark 3D. So landmark 3D data is the 3D modeling of a particular landmark with every minute texture details. So you will get all the texture like door, window, or rooftop. So you will get the model of entire building, entire landmark. So you will get the information of that particular landmark. You will get the 360-degree information. You will get the 360-degree view of that particular landmark. We have created this particular data set for somewhere around 2000 plus landmarks. That's the coverage right now. The data set is available in various format, and to capture and create these data set, it actually require very huge effort. So we basically have to visit that particular landmark, and we will have to invest our time to capture the photographs from 360-degree angle, and we will further process those data set in-house in our office. Road networks. So all the categories of road is available with us. We have mapped entire India, and you can actually get the stats of the length of those road categories here. We haven't mentioned the street and substreet or the lower level category road length here. Apart from road network, we have also captured the railway network along with the railway station information. These data sets has been created from a field survey. So the verification and creation will be done from the only source, which is actually field survey. OEM to Pitney Bowes Street Pro. So if you have heard about Pitney Bowes, now it's basically SingSort is the new name. But yes, so Pitney Bowes have their own map data set, and it is being published as Street Pro data. For India, we are the OEM. So Lepton are the data provider for Street Pro India dataset. E-transit maps. So public transport information. This data is available for 16 cities in India, and for all railway network. So e-transit map, in fact, I'll have to mention, if you have ever used the public transport information in Google Map, the information that you get over Google Map is actually this data set. So we are the one of the data provider for Google Map as well. So we have been supplying and creating map data input for Google as well. E-transit is one of them. So what are the information that are available in this particular data set? Route information, stoppage information, fare and timings. So whatever information that you can get from the public transport option from Google Map, these data will be these data has been provided by us. The coverage of more than 37 agencies, and in terms of cities, it's 16. The updation of the data set will vary city to city, and it can be, the frequency can be from a week to month. So it depends upon the agency that we are associated with, as well as the city for which we are capturing the data set. Access maps. So access map is actually the floor plan map. So you will get the floor plan information with all the shop details. We have created this data set for more than 200 malls. We actually have got these map approved from the respective authorities. The floor plan map is available in GIS format, and it can be converted into any required format as per the project's need. And the updation of the data for this particular layer, updation of the information for this particular layer is actually project basis. So we are regularly updating, the information about access maps. The access map, however, we have created this map for malls only. It can also be created for airports, universities, or hospitals. Soil map data. This data set has been sourced from a government agency, the respective government agency of India. Various type of soil, various soil material information will be available in this particular data set. So we actually have sourced this data from the agency, and we have digitized and converted it into the GIS format. The coverage pan India, as you can see, and the lowest granularity is up to village level. Junction views. So this particular data set, junction view, has been designed for lane driving in complex junctions. So in metro cities, we actually require these type of information. We have designed and developed this particular data set for a few of the companies to be used in their navigational devices. So it is available in various formats. And from the screenshot, you can actually get an idea. So depending upon the time of your driving, the color for these, signals will change. So let's say if you are, driving at night time, the prominent, green color will give you the driving direction. And that's all for smart data. I will in fact quickly give you a background of our company, though I'm sure we have been listening about this particular slide, but I will be repeating it. So I'll quickly take maybe another 2 minutes to cover this slide. So we have started our journey 2 decades ago, and this is our 26th year. So we have started as map provider entity. We have finally, gradually evolved ourselves as a location intelligence solution provider. We have a strength of somewhere around 200 plus employees, with the data analyst, data engineer, software engineer, as well as remote sensing and GIS specialists, who are the actual data creator for smart data. Being a location intelligence solution provider, and aside having our own product, we also have our partnership with companies like Google. We are the premium partner for their map and cloud products. We are the authorized partner of Pitney Bowes or SingSort for their location intelligence project like MapInfo, Spectrum, as well as Confirm. We are the authorized partner for InfoVista for their planning tools like Planet and Ellipse. This is for Indian territory. And finally, we are the strategic partner of VIL, Vodafone. So the telecom data, the source for telecom data is actually the outcome of this particular partnership that we have done with VIL. And finally, if I'll have to talk about our products, there are four location intelligence solution that we are offering right now. First one, RF map that we have been, talking about. Digital maps for telecom industry, and in fact for radio frequency planning and optimization activities. Network access, a web-based telecom-centric product which helps ISPs and operator to inventorize their network, and further they can do various analysis. Smart market, it's a location intelligence platform which helps you to understand your current business potentiality and help you to plan for your business expansion. In fact, smart data is a part of smart market, so we will ingest smart data in a smart market solution along with customer data set to do all sort of analysis. And then finally, the smart data which we discussed today, it's the collection of various map products. And yeah, that's it. I'll now address the queries before wrapping up this session. Yeah, Mansur.
Thank you, ma'am, for the wonderful presentation. Now we shall begin with our Q&A session. So I would request all the audience to please type in their questions and queries in the Q&A window so that Nisita can take them up and answer your queries. We have a couple of questions that are already there on the window.
Yeah, I can.
So can you please
So,
yeah.
how recent data collection is, present, available, and accuracy? It's a very specific question. So, how recent data collection? So, the data collection actually depends upon the project as well as the data layer. So, frequency of data collection as well as the frequency for validation of the data will vary for each and every category of those data layers. So we generally, since we are the OEM for Street Pro data, Street Pro India data, we basically collect and update these data set and publish it in every quarter, I would say. Accuracy and availability, we can share these information. Maybe you can write us back and we will share those information over the mail. Do you make strategic tie-up with data collection agency and share revenue stream for creating data sources? Not actually. So we create these data set ourselves. So we have our own team. So we have our production team, we have our GIS and remote sensing team, we have our field survey team who basically help us to collect and create these data sets. And are you open for strategic tie-up for consultancy assignment of GIS project for one large city? If yes, do Lepton has similar project consultancy experience in India? I mean, we have been acting as consultant for many projects since we have been into this industry from these many years. Yes, we can always sit together and discuss about the tie-up that you have mentioned. So after finishing this session, we will be contacting you to discuss more in this particular point. Yes.
Any more questions, audience? I would request you, if you have any more questions, please type in. Also, I have shared a link for a feedback form. I would request you all to kindly fill up that feedback form for us to improve our upcoming webinars. Yeah, we will be sharing the recording of the session uh, after the session ends, maybe by today evening or by tomorrow morning. We will be sharing that. Any more questions, or can we move ahead to close the session for the day?
Mansab, I want to highlight one point here.
Yeah.
Though the presentation that we have showcased today was all about the smart data that is available for Indian territory. So we are not limiting ourselves for Indian region, though we have our core strength for Indian region. And if someone is looking for the smart data, the various type of data set from smart data for other regions, for other countries, we can obviously discuss 101. We basically, the current approach that we are doing right now is we basically uh, do the partnership with a local agency. So we will source the smart data layers from the local agency, and will make these data set available for our customer. Yeah, that's the only point that I wanted to highlight here.
Okay, so I don't think so there are any more questions that are coming up. So once again, I would like to thank all the audience, and firstly, I would like to thank Ms. Sita for the wonderful presentation and answering all the queries of the audience. And then I would like to thank the audience for joining us for this special session. If you have any further queries, which you may not have currently or may have in future, you can write to us at marketing@leptonsoftware.com, and we will align you with our technical team. Looking forward for your attendance on our next webinar, which is planned for in the month of July on planning your network using high quality 2D maps. So we will request you all to kindly join us for that special session as well. Thank you and have a great day ahead. Stay safe. Goodbye.